Good morning. We'll be beginning in 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
So we only do 3 student trustees. The really big ones. Few faculty.
It's actually good though, because honestly, like yesterday had a lot of meat.
Yeah, it's good to do that. It worked well. It's nice balance.
By the way, those speeches.
It's good.
I mean, so we were at the Haverford, like St. Patrick Haverford College, and one of the speeches was really good. The other one was like, some people was like blabbing about themselves. And like, you have a little bit about reflecting on the moment. Right, reflecting on the moment.
Time to go.
All right, go time. Yeah.
You sit to start, then when I introduce you, wave.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and join me in welcoming Brooks School's faculty. Ladies and gentlemen, the class of 2025. Seated. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, the faculty, the staff, the student body, and the class of 2025, it is my pleasure to welcome parents, guardians, grandparents, family members, friends, alumni, and alumni to our 94th Prize Day. We're so pleased to be with all of you today. We are live streaming this event to many who are watching from home. With that in mind, I want to remind everyone to turn off and/or silence all cell phones in order to keep them quiet during the ceremony. In addition, if you are standing at the rear of the tent and/or are near any of the speakers that are part of the live stream, we would appreciate you taking any conversation above a whisper to a distance far enough away so that we will not hear you here or at home for those watching online. And as we did yesterday, now would be a great time to pop those cans of water. Thank you. And finally, as those of us on campus enjoy this wonderful day, please take a moment and note the nearest way out of the tent in the unlikely event of an emergency. Our insurers would appreciate that. Thank you. And finally, there'll be a luncheon following today's Prize Day ceremony, and we hope all of you will be able to join us. On this beautiful place, we are so privileged to enjoy with one another. It is appropriate to begin with our land acknowledgement. Namely, at Brooks School, we live and learn on land once of the Pennacook people, and we acknowledge their enduring presence. I would like to introduce those who are joining me on stage this morning. John R. Barker, class of 1987, president of the Board of Trustees. His daughter, Lydia Barker, graduated from Brooks in 2021. His daughter, Eliza Barker, graduated from Brooks in 2023. Mr. Barker. Russell T. Pyle, class of 1987, trustee. His son, Thomas Pyle, will graduate from Brooks today. Mr. Pyle. Rabina W. Egertson, Dean of Enrollment and Financial Aid and 33-year veteran of the school's faculty. Her son, Coleman Egertson, graduated from Brooks in 2012. Her daughter, Suzanne Egertson, graduated from Brooks in 2015. Mrs. Egertson. Andrea P. Hines, Director of Athletics and also a 33-year veteran of the school's faculty. Her son, Benjamin Hines, graduated from Brooks in 2019. Mrs. Hines. To parents and guardians of today's graduates, over what are now a number of years and openings on this day, to share some thought and gratitude with parents and guardians of soon-to-be Brooks School graduates, I've always been drawn by a strong gravitational pull in the direction of the role that matters most to me in my life, being a father. I'm also just 2 weeks removed from our younger daughter graduating from college and staring at the reality of being a father of 2 young women who are now college graduates, adults by any definition, although I still call them kids, and as emboldened as they have ever been about some of my shortcomings. Here are a couple of examples. They've expressed an opinion that I do a poor job at liking or loving their Instagram posts. The fact that I'm not on Instagram is an excuse that gets me nowhere. I try to keep up with their rapid-fire texting on our family chat, but then I blink, and somehow 62 unread texts have appeared on my phone that I've not commented on quickly enough, and I never seem to pick the right emojis. There are so many. The point being, in my case, parenting continues to be humbling. What I do know is that I love them dearly, and that they love me back, warts and all. And there's nothing else in my life that is the equivalent of that love. So at moments of transition, like the one all of you are living through today, I have found myself awash in thought and feeling while replaying moment after moment in my children's lives and wondering how it can possibly be true that they've gotten to where we are. Perhaps you can relate. I was meeting recently with what I think of as a young alum, now in his mid-30s, not yet with any children of his own, and contemplating someday being at that point in life. He was curious about being a parent, relayed that it seemed really hard, and then noted that his friends with children tell him it's the greatest thing that has ever happened to them. I don't need to tell all of you that it's really hard. And I would go so far as to say that parenting gets a bit harder all the time. I also don't need to tell all of you that it's the greatest thing that has ever happened to you. So I told this young alum, yes, it is really hard. And yes, taking that step will reveal a purpose in your life that has no rival. There's nothing else like it. Years ago, Michael Thompson, an extraordinary school psychologist who's consulted with independent schools for decades, shared a brief bit of insight about parenting that has stayed with me over time. It has helped me in both my work with parents and my life as a father. He said something to this effect: John, keep in mind that all parents are novices. We don't begin with any experience. I certainly felt like a beginner when leaving the hospital with both of our newborn children and feeling completely overwhelmed and terrified by the responsibility that was now ours. I've also felt blessed to work with and learn from so many Brooks School parents and guardians, also novices, who I have admired and drawn inspiration from, too many to count. My hunch is that all of us have had parenting moments we wish went differently, moments we would like to do over again with all the wisdom we acquire along the way. We begin as novices and then gradually become something other than that over time. I don't think expert is the right word, but experienced, perhaps, or savvy, maybe, or just no longer completely clueless. Regardless of what fits best for you, I want you to know today that you have done exceptionally well in loving and steering these 91 Brooksians to this moment in their lives. In a piece titled "The Special Role of Every Parent," written nearly 10 years ago, now deceased Washington Post columnist Michael Gerson concluded with reference to his son being just months away from going to college, and that he had been, in his words, rummaging through my worst parenting moments. He continued with this, and I quote, "Over the last few years, as my teenager became more embarrassed by my affection, I started baiting him by saying loudly, every night before he goes to bed, 'I love you, son.' Now he plays along and expects it, an insignificant ritual, a small thing. Every night, 'I love you,' until I won't be there to say it. I hope he remembers those words rather than the harsh ones, and knows that his father loved him imperfectly, but completely. Maybe, I hope, not so small a thing," end quote. If there have been moments of late when the missteps have gnawed at you, let them go today and revel in what is seated before me. This is a special group, and you have everything to do with that. With great admiration for the imperfect love that you have shared so generously with the graduating child you are right to be so very proud of today, I ask all of you to join me in thanking the parents and guardians of the class of 2025. Thank you. And now some thoughts about the school's faculty. Among many, there have been 3 moments that have stood out for me over the late winter and spring that have underlined both the strength and importance of our faculty and the difference they make in the lives of our students, the difference they have made in the lives of this class of 2025. The first came in early March, when we were about to head into spring break, and I had the privilege of presenting the Prince Charitable Trust Chair to our math teacher, director of rowing, and truly extraordinary faculty member, Tote Smith. If you know Mr. Smith, or Tote, as he is known to all of us, you appreciate the depth of his commitment to all that he does and how worthy he is of holding one of the school's 6 endowed faculty chairs. These chairs are a bit like Supreme Court appointments, as those who hold them do so until such time as they leave the school, hopefully many years down the line. When a chair becomes vacant, we invite the faculty to nominate colleagues they think are deserving, and then Ms. Freeman, Mr. Benson, and I take on the unenviable task of choosing from, in this case, the 15 colleagues who received nominations, all of them worthy. The number of nominees is impressive in its own right, but the content of the nominations is what grabs me most. The good feeling we have about how so many contribute to the lives of students. The threads that run through all of the nominations we were so pleased to read and consider, centered on care and support and advocacy and challenge and fun, and so much more that leaves me feeling honored to work with so many educators who dig in every day, meet students where they are, and find ways forward. The second moment was a Zoom call with a Centennial Advisory Council we've just pulled together to help plan and coordinate our centennial year, which begins just 1 year from July. This group is made up of about 25 people, primarily alums, with a few current and former faculty members in the mix. all care deeply about the school, and the alums stretch from the class of 1953 to the class of 2018. The perspective is as broad as can be. Yet when we were renewing acquaintances and exploring overarching questions about what we should plan to emphasize in celebrating 100 years of Brooks School life, without prompting, person after person underlined the strength and importance of the faculty, teachers, coaches, advisors, dormitory parents, mentors, sometimes all in the same person. They spoke of how important these faculty members were to them, and that any celebration of Brooks School would do well to emphasize former and current faculty members as the backbone of the place and at the heart of the student experience for generations. While this was in no way surprising to me, the conviction with which this sentiment was expressed felt good. This Centennial Advisory Council call was situated closely to the third moment of my late winter and spring that I have had in mind. In this case, 10 students were invited to identify a faculty member who means a lot to them. They were then asked to invite that faculty member to join them at our spring trustee meetings in order to share their good feeling about the teacher in front of that group, with the faculty member both there and terribly uncomfortable. I had high expectations for this session, and all 10 students exceeded them with room to spare. They spoke thoughtfully, eloquently, and movingly about the teacher standing next to them in ways that had a number of trustees in tears. Their testimonials and themes hit the same points my colleagues did when nominating others for the Prince Charitable Trust Chair: care and support and advocacy and challenge and fun, with a deep respect for someone who is clearly a role model. As I shared recently with a group of alums, listening to those students talk with so much admiration for those teachers left me feeling that I have to be head of the greatest school on the planet. If I were to crystallize what makes our faculty so good at all that comes with this very different life, the key is enthusiasm and appreciation for what I will call the extras, the ways in which they go beyond job descriptions and invest time, talent, and care in students while wearing so many different hats. All of those nominated for the Prince Charitable Trust Chair were put forward because they go well above and beyond what is expected of them. Centennial Advisory Council members emphasized the importance of the faculty for reasons centered on much more than routine or average work. The 10 students who dazzled our trustees in late April came to feel the way they do about those faculty members because they know with absolute certainty that they can count on them. The extras are what earn us a place in the hearts and heads of our students. What I know beyond a shadow of doubt is that all 91 in this class of 2025 will leave today with teachers who will never leave their heart and head. I know that days will come when they will be gathering with one another in some form, approaching a reunion, or maybe serving on an advisory council for the school's 125th or 150th celebration. And they will return to this campus in mind or body and feel the care of those teachers in ways that will bring them back, in ways that will remind them of someone who is forever in their corner, in ways that will matter to them. With all that each and every faculty member has given and done to help guide this class of 2025 to this exciting moment in their lives, I ask all of you to join me in thanking Brooks School's faculty for all they have done to get us to this day. Thank you. The end of the school year brings with it an opportunity to present 2 prizes to deserving colleagues who are continuing at Brooks, and to thank those who are departing for exciting next steps in their lives and careers at the end of extended service to the school. I will start with the William Dunnell Faculty Prize. The William Dunnell Faculty Prize recognizes an early career faculty member for excellence in teaching and notable contributions to community life. The chair of the English department, assistant head of school, and head of school determine the recipient. This year's William Dunnell Faculty Prize goes to Ian Matthew Speliotis. The Reverend George F. Vaught Prize. The Reverend George F. Vaught Prize, given by the Sededicati family and awarded by the head of school to honor a member of the faculty who in their first few years has made special contributions to the school and exhibited notable professional growth. This year's George F. Vaught Prize goes to Layla Simone McCain. A bittersweet reality at year's end is that new and exciting next steps in life are not limited to just members of the sixth form. This year, we would like to recognize one colleague who has been here for a while and is poised to move on to a next stop, certain to draw from her talent and passion for education in the ways we have. Way back in the spring of 2003, we were looking to fill a math opening with our sights set on getting much more than just a math teacher in the position. We wanted all of the extras I referred to earlier. One candidate stood out above all the others for her expertise as a teacher, her appreciation and enthusiasm for all that comes with living and working in a boarding school, and a desire to fold what was then her very young family's life into a community like ours. She was from the area, had attended a school I shall not name in the middle of Andover, and was interested in making it work. So we moved forward in making her an offer to join us at Brooks and transport what was then a family of 5, including a husband and 3 boys, who were probably somewhere between 3 and 6 years old, to living on this campus. She was pretty sold from the beginning, I think, but her husband, sensibly, was a bit skeptical. In my role as Dean of Faculty, or Chief Faculty Recruiting Officer, I invited both of them to come and take another look. On a beautiful late spring evening, with the temperature and dew point, importantly, just right, we walked around campus, and I had determined we would finish the tour down at the lake by the boathouses. With the sky lit up in its spectacular and reserved only for Brooks School color, I asked them, "What do you think?" I knew we had them, and she agreed to join the faculty shortly thereafter. What I did not know then, and certainly know now, is how deeply she has impacted our school over the 22 years that have since passed. She did it all, and she did it all so exceptionally well. She taught math classes in ways that both challenged students and helped them see a route to overcoming what can sometimes be a student's scariest subject. She lived in a girls' dormitory and was ever present in the lives of those who lived with her, while she and her husband were raising their own family. She coached squash, bringing the same teaching prowess she employed in the classroom to those courts for many years. She was an advisor who invested in advisees in ways that left them absolutely certain that she was in their corner. And she did all the extras we hoped for when hiring her, and then some. As her career at Brooks evolved, she took on an interest in building and leading what has now become a robust and essential part of our school, the Learning Center. In formalizing a program and working within whatever space we have been able to provide over these years, she has built a team and led from the front in helping students overcome academic challenges, develop confidence, and unlock their strengths. The technical part of that support has been important. The ways in which she has helped students believe in themselves has been the real gift. As we contemplate moving on without her and an even broader vision for an academic commons that expands the breadth and depth of learning support and enrichment we provide to our students, we have her to thank for building a foundation upon which so much possibility still to come will be realized. Thankfully, her work with young people will continue as she consults with Serving Stars, a tennis-based youth development program in Lawrence, Massachusetts, and through her work as a trustee at Bellasini Academy, also in Lawrence. And I'm sure her work helping students believe in themselves will continue for the rest of her life. Her family took shape on this campus, and all 4 of her boys are proud Brooks School graduates. This school is in them, will forever be, and we take some comfort in that. There is no denying we will miss her, however, and a simple thank you for all she has given to Brooks feels insufficient. Thus, I'm honored to designate her faculty emerita and invite her to the stage to receive a gift from the school and much more than a simple thank you from all of you. Moira Gwendolyn Goodman. And now some thoughts for today's graduates. It feels fitting to me that we finish with the class of 2025 on this most beautiful of all boarding school lawns, because it is precisely where most in this group began their Brooks experience as third formers at an opening chapel we held right behind me. On what was a picture-perfect day, captured by a beautiful drone photograph that eventually made its way to the cover of the bulletin, the possibilities felt limitless that morning. We were finally beyond the grip of the pandemic and so eager to run into the more conventional school year we were about to have. I don't know whether that morning feels like yesterday or a long time ago to those who were there, but I do know that this class of 2025 has made the most of the time that has since passed. In so many ways, our school was the beneficiary of their enthusiasm for a new beginning, as the pandemic had surely impacted their previous school experience. They were excited about that new beginning, to be sure, but also about the ability to live their whole lives again. We all were. From there, all they needed was one another, shared passions and interests, and then the many openings they've had to pursue those passions and interests together. There are deep friendships that have been forged on this campus within this group in front of me. Close relationships are the bedrock of everything we do at Brooks and are perhaps the most tangible piece of this experience that will go with the class of 2025 when they depart later today. They know one another well, and those bonds will hold over time. On the many occasions I have to talk with those who don't live the school's life on a daily basis in the ways that this group has for 4 years, I try to emphasize the aspects of our culture that play a primary role in allowing us to realize a mission aiming for the most meaningful educational experience our students will have in their lives. There's a lot involved in that lofty pursuit, but I don't think it can be realized without a collaborative and supportive culture. A culture where students working with, pulling for, celebrating, and encouraging one another is the norm. We are not perfect in this regard. We experience missteps, and adolescence is not always a straight line. Yet if you were fortunate enough to be in chapel on Monday or Thursday this spring, to hear a member of the class of 2025 address the school about something of importance to them, I suspect you would have felt the strength of the collaborative and supportive culture I'm referencing. You would have been taken by the speaker's courage, poise, and confidence. You would have been struck by the speaker's trust in the community they were sharing something important with. And if you were sitting where I sit, in the front of the chapel, with a clear view of the first row where close friends of the day's speaker always gather, you would have seen and felt a kind of care for and commitment to a friend that make chapel talks of the sort we draw so much from possible. We all need close friends to help find our way, and our school has close friends in abundance. As they go today, the world they are stepping more fully into feels more uncertain and tenuous to me than at any other point in my life. At my younger daughter's college graduation a couple of weeks ago, Henry Winkler, also known as the Fonz from Happy Days to those of you comparable in age to me, finished his talk by saying, "The world is yours now, and this world needs fixing. And I pray to the heavens that you are the fixers." A year ago on this day, I emphasized the importance of community builders at a time of persistent inequity, political strife, existential climate crisis, intractable world conflict, and authoritarianism on the rise. The solutions to these challenges remain elusive, and while their station in life is not the equivalent of those graduating from college, today's graduates are headed for college and university campuses, reeling from unprecedented scrutiny. Very little seems settled. What to do about it all can sometimes feel unclear. What is needed is as clear as can be. People who are eager to build community, who are excited to fix, if that is the right word, who see strength in difference, who meet people where they are, who listen for understanding, who live this school's values of engagement and empathy, who insist on feeling when numbness encroaches, who treat the arguments of others with respect and curiosity, who lean in and not back, and who always oppose that which is unjust. So I would offer this thought for the class of 2025's consideration as they go forth. Be those people. Be that close friend in the front row of the chapel for communities and people yet to know you. Believe in your ability and capacity to impact your community in ways that will ripple. You know what Brooks School looks and feels like at its best because you have lived it. Bring that with you, and what a difference you will make. Before closing, I'd like to take a bit of time to share at least some of the more memorable moments, exchanges, and accomplishments that come to mind when thinking about this terrific class of 2025. The absolutely stunning array of artwork displayed this spring in the Robert Lehman Arts Center with so many beautiful pieces created by members of this class, paintings, photographs, pottery of a quality any gallery would be lucky to have. I think they did as impressive a job as any of their predecessors at running this year's edition of Paranoia, and I loved how they revealed themselves when the competition came to an end. I've always enjoyed teaching winter term classes, but I particularly loved the group I had 2 Januaries ago, with 5 of them, then fourth formers, a part of it. They were so much fun to spend 3 weeks with. The warmth of their welcome during 2 trips to Asia over the past 2 years cannot be overstated. Equally important, and beyond the reach of being overstated, is how essential they all are to the fabric of this school community. I still remember being invited to participate in her gratitude project 2 winters ago. The project itself was fun, but her interest in spreading gratitude says all you need to know about her. There are many in this class of 2025 on their way to being college athletes. If they represent the schools they have chosen, as well as they have represented our school, we will continue to have an awful lot to be proud of. I don't know that anything equals holding the power to grant a head of school holiday. The pleas for a day off from students are priceless, and I save all of them. This first one came in when he and all but one of his friends, an Eagles fan, were deeply traumatized by a boring Super Bowl and commercials they did not like. He folded in a keen understanding of my appreciation of the dew point as the most important weather measurement of all. He wrote, and I quote, "I know a lot of us here at Brooks School thought this was going to be an all-time Super Bowl game, and it is just disheartening to say the least. On top of that, the air quality will be good tomorrow, and the UV index will be 0.5. Yeah, wow, I know, crazy stuff. I know you know what the dew point will be tomorrow, and I can tell that you sneakily want a head's holiday. I speak for all when I ask dearly, can we please have a head's holiday? It would mean a great deal. When I reminded him that we had a scheduled holiday coming in just a week, he wrote, worth a shot." Her watercolor titled "Follow Me" is the first thing prospective students and families see when entering our admission building. It is stunning. Don't miss it on your way to lunch later today. You lost a classmate who is very much with us today and grew up quickly on the other side of that loss. The ways in which you have carried him, honored him, and held him close to your hearts has me certain that he will be with you forever. Our school remembers well, and all of you have underlined that strength again and again. We will remember him with you for the rest of your lives. The many performances on and behind the stage that this group shared with the school and were such a privilege to take in. What a wonderful testament to what can be achieved when passionate students and faculty members pursue a goal together. Through capstone presentations, amazing final projects, and so many honors earned and bestowed this weekend, we learned of the exceptional academic strength in this class of 2025. They're ready to take on college classrooms by storm. There were so many emails aimed at drumming up interest in games of all sorts. 2 stood out. To encourage attendance at a boys' hockey game against Groton, he wrote, Brooks School, today is the day everybody's been waiting for. The boys' hockey team faces Groton in the barn at 4:30. Their mascot, you may ask? A zebra. What even is a zebra? Be there, or else you are lame. About a girls' JV hockey game later that day, the headline read, Sloaner's goalie debut, followed by lots of fire emojis. If you're not in the rink for the girls' JV hockey game versus Pingree, what are you doing? Sloan's in net. I went straight there. The musical talent in this class seemed to be on display every day over the second half of the spring. Recitals, spring concerts, Brookstock. And this only scratches the surface of how the mastery of instruments and the beauty of voices have enriched our time together. If you missed her total dominance on the softball mound, you missed something special. She took the ball every game, literally, seemed to have a pitch count of infinity, and dominated again and again and again. Just amazing. The series of chapels led by our affinity groups, underlining the wonderful diversity we have at our school. These occasions lifted and amplified voices within our school community in ways that opened doors to learning and strengthened our school. And finally, one last head of school holiday plea for your listening pleasure. This one came in when he was a fourth former. You can tell me later whether he or ChatGPT put this together. It reads, "Dear Mr. Packard, I strongly believe that a head's holiday would be a beneficial addition to our school community. It would provide a much-needed break, promote team building and community building, and encourage a healthy work-life balance. I urge you to consider this proposal and hope that you will see the many benefits it could bring to our school community." Come on. He finished with the only part not from ChatGPT. Nobody wants to sit in a classroom on an 87-degree day. Amen to that. All 91 of them, representing 12 states and 8 countries, have poured themselves into the school and one another throughout their time here, and especially over the course of this 98th Brooks school year. They are ready for whatever is to come in their lives, and we want all of them to know and feel both our pride in what they are and our excitement about what they will still be. There are so many gifts, talents, and passions seated before me, so many who have added in their own way to this community. How fortunate those yet to know them as we do will be over the years ahead. On that beautiful September morning, now nearly 4 years ago, I finished our opening chapel on this magnificent lawn with a poem written by Marge Piercy. It is titled "The Seven of Pentacles," and it is full of wisdom about both the challenge and joy of persistent engagement in building community. It reads, "Under a sky the color of pea soup, she is looking at her work growing away there actively, thickly like grapevines or pole beans as things grow in the real world, slowly enough. If you tend them properly, if you mulch, if you water, if you provide birds that eat insects a home and winter food, if the sun shines and you pick off caterpillars, if the praying mantis comes and the ladybugs and the bees, then the plants flourish, but at their own internal clock. Connections are made slowly. Sometimes they grow underground. You cannot tell always by looking at what is happening. More than half a tree is spread out in the soil under your feet. Penetrate quietly as the earthworm that blows no trumpet. Fight persistently as the creeper that brings down the tree. Spread like the squash plant that overruns the garden. Gnaw in the dark and use the sun to make sugar. Weave real connections. Create real nodes. Build real houses. Live a life you can endure. Keep tangling and interweaving and taking more in, a thicket and bramble wilderness to the outside, but to us interconnected with rabbit runs and burrows and lairs. Live as if you like yourself and it may happen. Reach out, keep reaching out, keep bringing in. This is how we are going to live for a long time. Not always, for every gardener knows that after the digging, after the planting, after the long season of tending and growth, the harvest comes. Congratulations to the class of 2025. Good luck and Godspeed. I am now pleased to announce and invite to the stage the class of 2025 speaker, Lydia Leiden-Tangney.
Thank you, Mr. Packard. So, fun fact, I had my entire speech written. I had been grinding on it because it's important. These people, my classmates, matter to me. The words of this speech matter to me, and I want it to matter to all of you, faculty, family, friends, but I really want it to matter to them, the class of 2025. And I thought I was done. Then I went to lawn ceremony yesterday, and everything changed. I listened to my classmates, my friends, Chang, Mary, and Charlie, give speeches that completely floored me. Chang talked about getting a call from a famous music producer in New York, and suddenly he was choosing between going to calculus class or skipping it and producing music for a Sydney Sweeney commercial. Insane. Mary stood up here and shared with total honesty what it's like to be an athlete at Brooks. The pressure, the expectations, the vulnerability, I felt every word. And then Charlie, one of my closest friends, somehow named and described every single person in our class with the most authentic words possible. I was moved, inspired, and suddenly slightly horrified. My speech didn't feel so finished anymore. So Chang, Mary, and Charlie, thanks for making me stay up all night to rewrite most of this. I love you all. Just like the last 4 years, you three, along with the rest of you, are making me better. That's the Brooks way, making each other better. So here we go. Students, faculty and staff, family, friends, and the class of 2025, good morning and happy graduation. Thank you all for being here to celebrate on this very special day for our community and everyone in it. A day that brings to an end the incredible Brooks journey for our seniors. I'd like to thank Mr. Packard, Ms. Freeman, Mrs. Dobbins, and our wonderful faculty and staff for allowing me the opportunity to speak on behalf of my classmates. I'm incredibly humbled and honored to stand before you today. With the short time I have, I'd like to talk about the exceptional story the class of 2025 has written. The story is curated by the narrative we have forever engraved in this school's history. The setting of this beautiful campus and the characters who make it up, all of us. The memories of this place, the classes, sports, performances, all the highs and lows, the championship wins and heartbreaking losses, the trouble we got in, because yes, obviously we got in some trouble, and all the accolades this amazing group have achieved together. I could speak for hours about this class and all they have accomplished, but I won't, I promise. This group is exceptional. Academics, arts, athletics. The class of 2025 has done it all in the true Brooks tradition, with loyalty and love. I am so proud to be a small part of it. But aside from the accolades and awards, I'm just proud to be part of a group of people who show up for each other and who have pushed each other to be the best version of themselves, despite the challenges and obstacles we've had to overcome individually and collectively. 4 years ago, we walked on this very grass for the first chapel service of the year. Most of us, as scared freshmen, optimistically, maybe desperately, searching for a familiar face to sit with. With open minds and open hearts, we were completely oblivious to the experience that was waiting here for us. Oblivious to the new family we would build through the love we would find in adversity we would face. We won and we lost in everything we did, but we competed. Competing is hard. You have to put yourself out there and risk losing, risk embarrassment. That's a tough ask for high schoolers. And the reality is what makes this place a little different. Brooks allows you to fail. Brooks actually encourages you to fail. Try new things, uncomfortable things. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. For every star athlete we have, and not to flex, but our class has so many star athletes, we have classmates brave enough to try brand new things, like auditioning for the spring play without really knowing how to sing or dance, which so many of us have done. Going out for JV ice hockey, even not knowing how to skate. I'm looking at you, Lauren Puglia. Again, a gutsy move. These are just some examples of many where individuals trusted Brooks enough, trusted each other enough to try something different, knowing in advance that failing was possible, even probable. Through all this process, we learned that we could rely on each other and trust each other. This place, these people, the people right here, picked us up over and over again to get us ready for what comes next in this incredibly challenging, competitive, sometimes scary, but yes, still wonderful life. None of anything we have been through together would be the same without the people we took this journey with. The friends we've walked down Main Street with, the faculty who helped us out when we needed it most, the facilities team we say hi to in the dining hall, the trophies we've lifted, the musicals, plays, and concerts we've cheered on, the swims in Lake Cochichewick that definitely did not happen, the hours wasted away on warm spring nights playing spike ball, soccer, or just simply talking. This place is not just a campus. Brooks is not just a high school, nor are these moments we've shared just passing memories. It's a community that we will forever have with us, a family that we will carry in our hearts and memories long after today. Hidden behind all the smiles and joy, our class has faced its fair share of trials. We've been tested in ways beyond our comprehension. As I look out at all of you, I can't help but think of the one person we are missing. In our freshman year, 2022, right as we were finally adjusting to Brooks, we lost a beloved member of the class of 2025, Preston Settles. The legacy Preston leaves Brooks, leaves us, is eternal. And his memory is not sad to reflect upon. Preston's legacy is that of a person in spirit who we should all learn from and carry forward. He was unforgettable. Preston made everyone feel like they were the most important person in the world. He was one of the happiest people I've ever met. When I reflect on our time with Preston, I start smiling and laughing. That's his impact. So Preston's message: laugh uncontrollably, make people smile, be passionate about everything you do, and never take a single second of this precious life for granted. Because if there's one thing we have all learned from Preston, it's to live with no bad days. He just wouldn't allow it. In our years here, we've all gone through hardship, whether we choose to talk about it or not. But that's a part of our power. Because I know that every single one of us has helped a friend through theirs. Every single one of you here in this class has helped a classmate. So many of you have helped me, because that's who we are. That is Brooks. That is Preston. Preston walks alongside each of us today. I know that to be true. Wherever we are headed in the future, there's a promise I want us all to keep, to each other, to this school, and most importantly, to yourself. Promise that wherever this world may take us, we must continue to be unapologetically ourselves. You are all so unique and talented. The rest of the world needs to see it, and we need to be brave enough to show the risk. We need more laughter like Catherine Casey's, We need more voices to be heard, like Isabella Soto, Maddie Burns, and Reese McJunkin. More courage to try new things, like Nathaniel Diaz. More confidence, like Michelle Grant. Maybe less drivers on the road, like Cora Witherall. But we've come a long way, Cora. More brains, like Veronica Soak. More art, like Kayla Gutowski and Jacob Zhao. We need more fun, more humor, like Matt Bensavango and Sam Lubick, just maybe not when it's aired in a Good Looks Brooks segment in front of the entire school. But truly, the world needs all of you. The world needs authenticity now more than ever. The way you move through life matters. Each step you take makes an impact, so take up as much space as possible. We are conditioned to wait our entire lives for our next move, next plan, next dream. No rest, always competing and fighting to achieve the next thing. But not today. We have put our blood, sweat, and tears into our Brooks journey, and all of your decisions and hard work have led you to this exact moment. Today, we won, and today we celebrate. So before you go worrying about summer jobs, sports, classes, college, or whatever you're doing after the ceremony, reflect on this win. No matter how ready we think we are for the next chapter, leaving this one behind is not going to be easy. Because this chapter, it was beautiful, it was messy, it was loud, and exhausting, and hilarious, and hard. It was all of us, every single one of us, doing the best we could together. And when we think about Brooks, we won't just remember the dining hall talks, the busette rides, or the late nights, and we definitely won't be thinking about a bad grade we received on a test. We'll remember how we made each other feel. Seen, supported, known, loved. That's what lasts. So wherever we go, class of 2025, let's keep showing up for people like we did here. Let's keep laughing like we did here. Let's keep risking and failing and trying again like we did here. Let's keep being people who make each other better because we know how to do that now. Thank you all for being my people. Thank you for letting me be yours. Congratulations, class of 2025. I love you all.
And now for 3 student prizes. The Trustees Prize. The Trustees Prize awarded by the faculty to any member of the school community who has served beyond the call of duty. We are very fortunate at Brooks to work with students in all kinds of settings and in ways that allow us to know one another well. In the case of this young man, it is not hyperbole to suggest that every person who has come to know him well is better for it. He is kind and decent and exudes character in ways that have led leadership roles to find him throughout his life, a trend certain to continue as his life moves along. To know him is to know he raises the bar for any group he is a part of without having to say a thing. He has that kind of presence. I remember him flying through the air to make a save for the ages in a New England Championship soccer game in just his 4th form year. I also recall the ways in which colleagues and students spoke of him with reverence and admiration that runs deep. It is no surprise that he was the captain of that team this year and a school prefect as well. In both roles, he held peers to high standards when no one was watching, character's truest test. His advisor joked with him in a comment that serving as a school prefect is a bit like being employed by the school. If you'd like to stick around, I'm sure we could work something out. What a teacher and coach he would be. I'm so glad to have had a bit of time to see him lead from a front row seat, to have had an opportunity to know him well. We are going to be proud of him for the rest of his life. It's my honor to present the Trustees Prize to Zachary Michael Amato. The Faculty Prize. The Faculty Prize, given by George C. Haas and awarded annually to a student who has made outstanding contributions to the life of the school. This young man's many contributions to the school have been deep and broad and extraordinary by any measure. Indeed, the range of his talents are hard to comprehend. His performance in the classroom has been superb across a program that included 5 honors and 8 advanced placement courses. No small feat. He is a phenomenal visual artist and has shared his work on the walls of our Center for the Arts in ways that have dazzled us. My hunch is that there is no instrument he could not play in a pinch, and the number of times we've been delighted by his talent on the piano and keyboards are too many to count. As a leader, he has been at the heart of all Asian Student Alliance events, and this year, he has been an exceptional school prefect. He has immersed himself so deeply in school life that I sometimes wonder if his parents ever see him in the light of day. Yet in my view, all of these strengths and feats come in second to the kind of person and gentle soul he has been on this campus for all of his years here. He has led from the front and been part of a team. He has celebrated his peers from the sidelines and amazed them on stage. He has been humble and selfless and collaborative and precisely the type of leader and citizen we hold up when trying to articulate Brooks School at its best. He has done it all, and he has done it all well. We are both proud of him and certain to miss him. With profound gratitude for all he has shared with our school, I'm honored on behalf of the faculty to present this year's Faculty Prize to Chang Zhuang. The Head of Schools Prize. The Head of Schools Prize was given in memory of George V. Case, Jr. It's hard to know where or how to begin in trying to encapsulate all this young woman has done so well during her 4 years here. As a leader, she has earned universal admiration and respect. She is humble and confident all at the same time. In ways that I am certain will resonate with colleagues, she is unbridled optimism personified. She lifts everything she is a part of, and that is not an exaggeration. She has excelled as a student over these years, and her teachers have described her as engaged, purposeful, fun, and enthusiastic. Her self-effacing demeanor would likely keep one from knowing how talented a visual artist she has been at Brooks, but a quick look at some of her work would clear that up. She burst onto the stage with her performance in Footloose in ways that blew all of us away and added yet another extraordinary talent to her portfolio. And while we have known for some time that she is an outstanding lacrosse player, her leadership and example on that team have been equally impressive. She is a relentless competitor and leaves us as one of the finest athletes we've ever had. Her total engagement in school life has earned her opportunities to be at the front of the line, and she is finishing a year where she has served brilliantly as our senior prefect. In ways that I suspect will echo and reverberate over time, she has revealed what is possible if you work hard across the board, Pour yourself into interests you're passionate about. Explore areas that are new and intriguing, and squeeze all you can out of this experience. Her Brooks School blueprint would be a good one for all of us to follow. With appreciation for all she's shared with us over these years and unbridled optimism of our own about where her life will go from here, it's my honor to present the Head of Schools Prize to Lydia Leiden-Tangney. Okay, time for diplomas. Mary Boylston Adams. Zachary Michael Amato. Mujibullah Amin. Brooke Jane Battaglia. Matthew Charles Bensavengo. Gage Oliver Blevins. Sophie Adele Broussard.
Thank you.
Griffin Vincent Bucci. Madeline Judy Burns. Thank you. If you're wondering what these are PS3. Christopher Robert Cayazzo. Catherine Avery Casey. Leah Danielle Chen. Yijun Cho. Moonyoung Aiden Choi. Junho Chung. Forrester Andrew Clark IV. Catalin Anna Clark. Aiden Kaya Krot. Peyton Reed Damon. Emerson Lee Davis. Abigail Ann Derdarian. Addison Elizabeth D'Antonio. Nathaniel Louise Diaz. Ainsley Elizabeth DiNardo. Cameron Paul Dioguardi. Lauren Renee Dewberry. Addison Anastasia Duval. Dean Christian Fothrop. Jacqueline Joe Giordano. Amaya Danielle Gomez. Siming Gong. Michelle Ohenawa Araba Asafo Grant. Matthew Aaron Grauer. Kayla Grace Gutkowski. Emily Bear Haley. Brooks Kreider Hawkins. Henry Thomas Hebert. Eva Ann Caroli. Shane Paul King, Jr. Thomas Lacoste. Carter Reese Leonard. Eric Lickner. Samaya Wairimo Lovett. Samuel Ellis Lubick. Lucas Macklin Dibb. Francesca L. Maitino. Mason Sai Malouf. Kylie Marie Matola. Adriana Lynn McClintock. Thayer Lockwood McClintock. Reese Wynn McJunkin. Megan Avery McSwain. Ty B. Melton. Seho Min. Isabella Maria Mondalfi. Samson Chubikum Nwobi. Harrison Stephen O'Connor. Rafael Timoteo Odabanjo. Nina Elizabeth Paliuka. G.U. Park. Brendan David Peck. Benjamin James Pettarelli. Emily Hamilton Pratt. Lauren Elizabeth Puglia. Thomas Hammond Pyle. Ana Sophia Yates Rivera. Charles Joseph Rumenier. Ethan John Roy. William Braden Sanders. Caillou Nagasaki Schubert. Aram Sedigzadeh. Buyum Suk. Preston Blair Settles. Lado Stephen Shekels Betts. Isabella Milagros Soto. Brady Gilbert Sullivan. Jackson Durham Sumner. Manya Reddy Talem. Lydia Leiden Tangney. Drake Aaron Tarlow. Dave Jr. James Tebow. Serena Anna Trojer. Jiaqi Shan Wang. Tristan Clark Warner. Ella Corinne Whalen. Alexander Robert Wilkins. Cora Kathleen Witherell. Derek Cloutier Yamatani. Uma Rose Yamin. Junghao Gyung. Jacob Yutong Zhao. Chang Zhuang. At this time, I would invite the Reverend James D. Chapman forward to give the benediction.
Thank you, Mr. Packard. And what a class this is. Before offering the benediction, I have a little demonstration and a few words I want to say to this class. And the demonstration will not be totally unfamiliar. Now, what's the name of those objects you just saw? What kind of bubbles? Brooks bubbles! Brooks bubbles. I was walking in the park the other day when I saw a big group of kids and families actually having a grand time blowing bubbles like those. And I stopped to watch, and I was struck by how beautiful the bubbles were shining in the sunlight. And they made me think about that phrase, the Brooks bubble. I've heard that term over and over again since the first day I came here as the school minister. And yes, I guess being at Brooks is in some ways sort of like being in a bit of a bubble. We are a community somewhat set apart, a bit insulated from the world, maybe sometimes a bit of a never land. Brooks can be kind of like those bubbles in the park, shining, beautiful, a little different, and a moment to be treasured. I fell in love with the Brooks bubble when I first came here. I didn't know it was possible. I didn't know you could fall in love with a community, but I did. I fell in love because this is such a good place. Extraordinary teachers who really, really care deeply about what they do, and an amazing group of students, all of you. Being with all of you for me has been just a privilege and a joy that I can't even begin to put into words. I love you all. And I think I may be a bit sappy when I say that, but it's true. I do just love you all. I love you for your energy. I love you for your spirit, your humor, which is sometimes kind of goofy, your desire to be good people, your caring and goodwill for one another. And I think that is an outstanding quality of this year's class. I know the Brooks bubble isn't perfect, but it's really beautiful. There's a special spirit here. There's a spirit of love and caring that at its best makes this place unique. The bubble is beautiful, but like the bubbles we just saw that then vanished, the Brooks bubble does involve change, and it involves adjusting to change. Most of you have been here 4 years or less, and now you're moving on to new learning, new adventures, to the beginnings of your adult lives. I hope that as you move on from Brooks, you'll be able to look back and see how the great spirit of love was always working in this bubble. The spirit of love reaching out with love and care for everyone here, for every one of us. I've said so many times in chapel that great spirit of love has 1,000 names. God, Allah, Elohim, Brahma, Tao, the list goes on and on and on. But by whatever name, it's one and the same spirit of love, and that spirit surrounds us all the time. We're like fish swimming in an ocean of love. And we don't always realize it. We're not always aware of how enormously that love surrounds us. My hope is that all of you in the years to come will grow more and more aware of that great ocean of love, and that you will more and more shape your lives with that love as your focus. You can acquire all the things that the world values: success, money, fame, power. But without the spirit of love in the center, life isn't whole and complete. It isn't really full life. We've sung so many times in chapel, seek first the kingdom of God, or of love, or of truth. The words don't matter so much, but seek the Spirit, and the other things that you need will be there for you. Seek the Spirit, I think that's the Brooks way, and that's what will keep the Brooks bubble always shining. And now it is time for the benediction. Let's all join in the benediction we've shared so many times in chapel. You know it by heart, so sing out, and let this benediction please be a blessing on you, on your friends, on your classmates, on your families, and on all of those who are here supporting you and supporting this generous and caring school, this beautiful Brooks bubble. Are you ready? My friends, life is short, and there's little time to gladden the hearts of those who go the journey with us. So be quick to love, make haste to be kind. May God, who knows you fully and loves you deeply, bless you and those you love. Go in peace and with love in your hearts. Amen. God bless you all. Go Brooks.
As this Prize Day ceremony comes to a close, I ask that we all stand at our seats as the class of 2025 exits down the center aisle, diplomas now in hand, with applause ringing down from all of us. Congratulations to the class of 2025.